we're starting again. Alright. Oh boy. Yeah. Let's go. Powerful, jubilant, jumping jacks! Matsunatsumi, I'm so pleased for you. Welcome student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire, and non-locum judicial assistant Mr. Mikitomo Esquires. Now finally, at long last, there can be proof. Proof that I'm innocent, and proof that IT is innocent! Ah, good morning, my dear fellows. Ah, Airlock Shelves! May you drink my cabbage tea and fall for our silence! I thought the tea was innocent! Oh, Mr. Sholmes, you came. How wonderful. Please, save your derision. I know what you're all thinking. Good morning, he says, when it's very nearly time for luncheon. Your scorn is written clearly across your faces. Nobody said or thought anything of the sort. The truth is, I was determined that today would be the day. As sleep seduced me last night, I thought, tomorrow for once I shall not oversleep. I'll rise early and be present in court to support my companions. Same, though. Such spirited determination has a beauty all of its own, does it not? Oh yes. And then I began to muse on the subject. Why do people oversleep? I queried. Why, time after time, do they make the same foolish blunder? And the answer came to me at once. It's so delightfully simple. People oversleep because they sleep! Well, is that not an astute insight into the matter? Oh, yes. Upon much realization, I attempted an experiment. I didn't sleep a wink all night. Oh. And the results? By first light, I was exhausted, and began to be assailed by fits of drowsiness. Shocking. And so the conclusion of last night's experiment is this. A good night's sleep is quite simply essential. Yes, I think most of us probably knew that already. But others presuppose I prove by experimentation. That, my dear fellow, is a scientific method. Ah yes, and one more thing. Do you remember this? Yes, of course. It's the poison that Miss Green was about to drink at the hospital yesterday. Oh, you didn't manage to. It was a laborious task as the bottle was near empty, but such inconveniences do not hinder Sholmes. I managed to confirm that it contained strychnine. So I was right. Perhaps. Though of course such circumstantial evidence doesn't prove Miss Green's guilt. I shall leave the bottle in your care now, but licking the inside of the neck is not recommended. I hope that comes up. I hope that comes up. Could I have a word? Gregson, how good of you to come. Forget it, excuse me. Wait a minute, Inspector. I, don't wish to make a nuisance of myself. From the look of your face, I'd say it's someone else you think is making a nuisance of himself. My dear Inspector, please, speak freely. Pretend that I'm not here. Believe me, if I could do that, life would be a whole lot simpler for me. You have the results, Inspector, of the investigation of Mr. Shamsier's room. Not yet. Shouldn't be long now, though. No, I'm here about something else. That dead convict, actually. Oh, you mean the man from the newspaper article we discovered yesterday in Mr. Shamsier's room? A man by the name of, yes, Selden. I went through the archives at the yard and dug up the fellow's file. There's something in there that, well, it caught my eye. Something caught your eye? Well, what, Inspector, what? I've copied out the relevant parts for you, so you can read it for yourselves. Thank you. Oh boy. These documents. 18 counts of burglary, 6 counts of suspected murder. Died of natural causes whilst in prison. His final moments witnessed only by his cellmate. The estimated £1,000 worth of loot he stole remains unrecovered. Manchester Strangeways Prison announced that the death of convicted murderer and burglar Selden by natural causes in the early he has been suffering with fever since the end of October, alerted by the shouts of his fellow cellmate. Medical staff arrived to find him already dead before his capital punishment could be carried out. Oh boy. It's a bottle. So this is the poison we've been hearing so much about. Strychnine. There are a few remnants of the bottle, in the bottom of the bottle. Here, look. tempted to try it. Of course not, as long as we don't lose this trial. No, even if we lose the trial. No, we mustn't lose the trial in the first place, Mr. Naruto. Make your mind up, Masasada-san. Oh my goodness. Nothing really sticks out. But hey, these documents include the details that were in the newspaper cutting we found in Mr. Shanspeare's room. I'll rearrange everything in the court record so we don't have duplicate information. Why are you giving us a copy of this important file, though? Well, you're the ones who turned up the clue in the first place, aren't you? I'm just making sure things get handled in the proper fashion. Oh, Scotland Yard's workings are so wonderful. Indeed, my dear fellows, and the inspector here is a shining diamond in its crown. A shining diamond in the rough, baby. Look, I just don't want to be beholden to a lawyer, that's all. Counsel for the defense and the defendant. Court proceedings about to resume. Make your way to the courtroom at once. Good, sir. Well, I shall leave you then. I'll be listening with interest from the public gallery. Not nodding off at all, certainly not. Thank you, Mr. Sholmes. I'm rather tired of seeing Mr. Mustache in floods of tears, Presley, so best of luck to you. Lord, I'm student Esquire! Yes, what did I say? It's time, isn't it? Yes, this is it. Miss Olive Green and Mr. William Shamsphere. This is going to be the final battle. Okay. I won't really have saved Saseki-san until I've exposed the whole truth of everything that's been going on. But it's all coming to a head now. You can do it, Ryunosuke. You have to. Oh boy. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session again now. Before the recess, we heard a most startling accusation from the defense, namely that the victim of the case we heard here only a few days ago is the true perpetrator of the incident. A reckless, rash, and prejudiced charge of wrongdoing, in my opinion, my lord. However, the prosecution has tried to extend every courtesy to this amateur newcomer from dubious eastern shores. Thank you. I hope, for that backhand consideration. A rather cold assessment from the honorable British prosecutor, must say. So, Lord Van Zykes, is the new witness present and ready to take the stand? Ready and waiting in the witnesses' antechamber, my lord. Oh, very well. Fair enough, bring the witnesses in. Witnesses, state your names and occupations for this court, please. William Shamsphere, my liege. For mine occupation, I can only say that I be tragic victim, to be pitied. Currently unemployed, in other words. I'm Olive Green. I'm a fledgling artist. Well, no, not fledgling, really. A hopeless failure who's too weak-spirited to admit that she has no talent, I suppose. Also currently unemployed, in other words. What a coterie. Mr. Shamsphere. My lord, I am thy humble servant. I'm afraid that you are no longer merely the victim in this affair. The possibility has been raised that you are in fact the assailant, intent on taking the life of your fellow lodger. The part that you have played in this whole business will be thoroughly scrutinized, I assure you. I wouldn't for naught else, my lord. And Miss Green. Yes? You are aware of the reason you have been summoned to the courtroom today, I presume? Yes, the officer did explain. He said I poisoned this ridiculous buffoon. And do you accept the charge, Miss Green? I don't know anything about any poisoning. And I don't know anything about this man. Come, lady. Die to live. Verily, I know know not thy prickly pea-pigmented personage. Very well. Let us proceed to the matter at hand. That being to ascertain whether or not Miss Green has any involvement in this affair. It's all very strange indeed. Why would you suspect me? I barely ever go to the East End anyway. It just so happens I passed by that neighborhood 6 days ago, that's all. And on that night, the man was poisoned, I was still in the hospital, fighting for my life. Yes, having been unfortunately caught up in the incident on the street outside the Garrett household. Yeah, that's an incident that rendered you unconscious for some 3 days. I was struck in the middle of my back by a knife, though no fault of my own, and now I'm under suspicion? Irrelevant things might I be suspected of. It's all very disturbing. The energies may be better spent worrying about random knife attacks, I feel, Miss Green. At this point in time, all that appears to connect you with Mr. Shamsphere's lodgings is the Briar Road incident on 6 days ago. That's why we would like to testify formally now about what exactly happened. Oh no. Yes, it's 6 days ago. You want me to relive that awful accident? Unfortunately, yes. Please tell the court what happened that day. And of course, we'll be interested to hear from you about your movements that day too, Mr. Shamsphere. But what happened 6 days ago has nothing to do with me being poisoned. Let us proceed then. The witnesses will present their formal testimony to the court on the subject of the incident that took place on Briar Road the evening on the 17th of February. It was 6 days ago, about 5 p.m. I was walking along in the snow when I suddenly was stabbed in the back. Coincidentally, it happened to be just outside the house where the men in this case have their lodgings. I was at the tavern on the eve which thou speakest, for I had broke off my supper. It was the first time I'd been in the area. I had a little matter to attend to, that's all. Anyway, I was fitted straight to the hospital, so I knew nothing about all this business. Okay, 5 testimonies. 5 statements, and yes, the second incident inside a week at what I believe he aptly described as the haunted lodgings. One can only presume that it's the most unfortunate coincidence. Meanwhile, you say you were not in your room, Mr. Shamsphere. 'Twas the following morn when I went to awaken that I learned of these dire events. Mary, what a commotion did the officers of the law make on the floor above mine. When Suzuki was arrested on suspicion of attempted murder. As suspected, there's nothing connecting these 2 witnesses but happenstance. It's true, it does seem as though they're unrelated at first glance, but I'm not so sure. There's something lurking in the shadows here. I feel certain of it, and this is my one and only chance to expose it. Yes, my lord. Alrighty.
Hold it!
I'm well acquainted with the case. I'm sorry I had to go through that. It was awful. I still can't believe I was unconscious for so long. When I woke up to find the case had been solved and had the culprit arrested. Yes, the incident has been resolved already. Perhaps it would help you consider it a bad dream that ended with your awakening. It should now be forgotten. Yes, I suppose so. Thank you. Before you put it completely behind you, Miss Green, I need you to remember the details one last time. You must tell the court exactly what happened that day, for us to arrive at the truth of this new case. The trouble is, there's nothing to tell, really. I was just walking along the pavement. Coincidentally, I just happened to be outside the house where the man in this case had their lodgings.
Hold it!
What were you doing there that day, though? What do you mean? The art school you attend, what's it called? Yes. It's the Thorndyke Academy of Fine Arts. According to Mr. Sholmes, that's just in the vicinity of Brixton Road, to which some 10 stops away from the scene of the crime. I believe you mentioned that you also live on Brixton Road, isn't that right? So why then would you have been walking along Briar Road in the middle of the East End? Well, oh yes, of course. Must be, I thought it might make it a nice picture. The witness is a student of art. City-dwelling artists can't all paint green urban this red urban. Yes, that's right. That's right. I can have the like crumbling look of that part of town. Perhaps quaint would have been a less grating term. The point is, she's deliberately hiding something. Yes, it seems like she's not going to be forthcoming with the truth. She's trying to hide why she was there that evening. It must mean there's a reason for her not wanting us to know. That's the key to this. And you, Mr. Shamsphere, on the evening of the incident 6 days ago. Would you tell the court what exactly you were doing? 'Twould be my pleasure, sire. I was at the tavern on the eve which thou speakest, for I had bespoke my supper.
Hold it!
Tavern, you say? Which one? 'Twas the Slug and Salad where I did tarry. 'Tis a jewel in the East End. And a little unexpected, I feel. What do you mean, Lord Redlegs? The Slug and Salad offers unusually fine dining, for the locality at least. Not an establishment you expect to be patronized by a man with not even a crumb of bread in his room. Huh? It's true. The menu lists premium crusts of bread and glasses of water in different levels of cloudiness. I would have expected the Grub's Grubbery in the local vicinity to be more appropriate for your means. Watery soup and mushy peas, or rather, soupy water and pea-like mush. All equally appetizing. I just wanted to try some water in a different pub for once. What's wrong with that? How different can water really be? Ah! Oh, I really hope you don't have to deal with what I have to deal with. Tap water can really be so vastly different in taste. It's just... ugh. It's staggering. Anyway. There you are. Sorry, I'm just... Okay. Or perhaps there's a more plausible explanation. A special reason why he had to go to that particular establishment. Agreed. The fact that on that day of all days he dined at a place he wouldn't normally, it does stand out. So Mr. Shamsphere's own actions on the day of the incident 6 days ago were slightly suspicious. Or could we have some evidence that can explain those actions? Not the moment. I wish we did, but sadly, I can't think of anything at the moment. If we find a clue that can explain why Mr. Shamsphere went there, we must present it to the court. Yes, absolutely. Alrighty. It was the first time I'd been in the area. I had a little matter to attend to, that's all. What matter? What little matter, Miss Green? Please elaborate. It was nothing really, not worth mentioning. If you remember, you mentioned it to us yesterday at the hospital. It was related to the card you were holding. Miss Green! What's that? She clearly hid something behind her back. From memory, I believe the card contained a note that read, "I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross." What does that matter? This has nothing to do with Duncan. Mr. Shamsphere, do you have something to share with the court? To be or not to be? Not to be. I mean, that is the question. Ah, pray forgive me. The greatest Bard's words springeth from within me with a narrow thought. Don't tell me it's because you were possessed by Shakespeare's spirit, right? Hearing Miss Green's words a moment ago seemed to make you think of something. Something of relevance, perhaps. Well, nay, sire, 'twas nothing at all. Presumably you know the name, though. Mr. Duncan Ross, I mean. After all, you were both lodgers in the same house. I would if it were so, but sadly, nay. Lodging it be a lonely occupation, sire. My lodging fellows be rarely known to be. So you haven't heard of him? Even though he passed away in the room just one floor above yours? Miss Green. Me, my lord? Have I done something wrong? The card that was mentioned before, containing the note. Do you have it upon your person? I do, yes, but I don't need it anymore. In fact, I should throw it away, really. Before you dispose of it, the court will take it as evidence, please. Okay. Of course, that's what links Mr. Shamsphere and Miss Green. It's Duncan Ross. Now, continue with your testimony, please, Miss Green. Anyway, I made it straight to the hospital, so I knew nothing about this business.
Hold it!
Yes, you didn't regain consciousness until the day after the trial, did you? In the early hours. Exactly. So how could I have anything to do with it? And yet, you still hold me in here to the court like this. Honestly. So at the time of the poisoning, the witness was unconscious in her hospital bed. Could there be a more airtight alibi, I ask you? And yet, in spite of that, you claim that I was the culprit. Well, but you certainly haven't produced any evidence to support your wild claim, have you? Not at all. There you have it. The good lady has yet to see evidence, my lovely best friend. I'm working on it. Counsel, I will point out that the jury's next decision will be final. We're really up against the wall here. Oh, Mr. Naruto, you pursued Mr. Shamsphere wonderfully there. Worked out, hasn't it? Well, hasn't it? We have a new clue at last. Alright, now I need to pull off a really insightful objection somewhere. Well, as you've managed to expose a promising new angle, I wonder if you should perhaps try to develop that. Ah, yes, of course. And yelling out objections isn't necessarily the best way to do that, I suppose. Okay. Well, let's press. So I don't accidentally do this wrong. Let's take a look at this. The envelope has been ripped open rather carelessly, hasn't it? Miss Green strikes me as the type of person to open correspondence more neatly than that. Ah, what is it? The way the envelope is torn, I'm almost sure I've seen that exact same shape somewhere else. Oh, you don't mean... You think of this piece of evidence, Mr. Naruto? Exactly, that's it. Try to match them up. Yep. They go together perfectly. This torn off end of the envelope clearly belongs with this card. Yep. So, what was that torn off piece of the envelope doing there? Mr. Shamsphere? Yes, sir? On the day in question, is it not the case that you visited the Slugged Salad, a place you don't normally patronize, for a very particular reason? Ah, I don't know what you're talking about. Pray, if thou hast some purpose, speakest! Very well, I will present the court with evidence that explains why you had to be at the Slugged Salad that day. Namely...
Take that!
I believe this card reveals the answer. Good lord, Miss Green's card, you mean? That's right, my lord. It reads, I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. Come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Road at 5 p.m. on the 17th. Don't tell anybody else about this letter or the meeting. It's a matter of utmost importance. If Mr. Shamster, your actions in the afternoon of Miss Green's stabbing are exactly as described in this note. Uh, uh, personally, I find it hard to believe that that's a coincidence. Don't you, Mr. Shamster? Excuse me. Can I say something? Yes, Miss Green? That card was delivered to me. It doesn't have anything to do with this odd man, does it? Well, you'd think so, yes, but it's hard to believe it's merely... My lord, may I? May you what, Miss Green? I'd like to make something very clear about that card. Very well then, you may amend your testimony to include the details about that peculiar note. This note was delivered to me at my address. It has nothing to do with the odd man next to me.
Hold it!
I think you said that you received it the day before the incident, didn't you? Yes, that's right. There appears to be no indication of the sender's name or address on this envelope. It was in my letterbox, and that's all I know, I'm afraid. I have no idea who sent it. I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. Who is this Duncan Ross, please? A friend of mine. He attended the same art school as I do. He passed away in a tragic accident a month ago now, though. I wasn't sure what to make of that note, to be honest, but in the end I decided to go. So you found out what the information was? Of course I didn't. You're not thinking straight. Whilst on her way there, she was stabbed in the back, as my learned friend hopefully remembers. Ah, yes, of course. She never made it to the meeting. Huh. Okay. Unfortunately, Miss Green, I'm sorry to say that
Objection!
the day before the incident, exactly 1 week ago now, this note was delivered to your address, and upon carrying out the instructions in that note, you found yourself in a hospital. Yes, I did. It's terrible, everything that's happened to me. Yes, it is terrible. If it's all true, that is. What do you mean? Miss Green, have a look at this, please. It's the torn-off end of an envelope. Oh, is it? And it so happens that it fits together perfectly with the envelope, of the note you received. Where did you find that? In Mr. Shamsier's room. In my room? Mr. Shamsier, do you perhaps remember this note from somewhere? Well, your actions that afternoon followed the instructions in the note to the letter. Come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Road at 5 p.m. on 17th. And so that's exactly where you went. Let me ask you again, Mr. Shamsier. You already knew about this note, didn't you? And you, Miss Green, what did I do? As this torn-up end of the envelope proves, the note was originally in Mr. Shamsier's room. So how is it that it came to be in your possession? I don't have the first idea. I'm just a fledgling artist after all. There's only one explanation. You broke into Mr. Shamsier's room and stole it. You did what? Sorry, thou hast what? Thou were in my room? What on earth do you want with me? It would seem that both witnesses need to testify again. Miss Green. Yes? Whilst you have the court's sympathy, I'm sure, for the suffering you've endured in recent events, anyone found to be giving false testimony in the court of law will be duly punished. Please bear that in mind. Oh boy, yes, I know. Very well then, Miss Witnesses. You'll give formal testimony again now. on the subject of this curious anomaly regarding the note Miss Green claims to have received. Alrighty. I do remember that. 'Twas a week ago, pre-adventure. The note was delivered unto me. On the day writ therein, I did tarry a long hour at the slug and salad, yet nobody came. Thereafter, on the evening, I shared the company of the Japanese fellow. I did see the note had vanished.
I don't know what you mean. You think I slept into this man's room, do you? Why would I? I can point at the fin in here, and as for the torn off piece of the envelope, I don't know anything about it.
Huh. You now claim to have received this letter, do you, Mr. Shamsphere? Faith, 'tis so, my lord, and I would swear to have it set upon my table in my haunted papa lodgings. Yet 'tis clear to me now that since I returned from the tavern last night, I have not laid eyes upon it. Well, that being the case, young lady, it would appear that your testimony was
a lie? Is that what you think? How very do you think I'm the one lying?
I beg your pardon?
I'm just a fledgling artist, as I said, and fledgling artists don't lie. That note was delivered to me at my address, besides. We all know who the liar is around here.
If that's true, Miss Green, how did you explain the facts? This part of the envelope was, without question, found in Mr. Shamsphere's room.
I don't see why I should explain.
Sorry.
I'm a fledgling artist. My job is to just say what happened, that's all. It's your job to give the explanations and the proofs. You, the fledgling lawyer.
The fledgling will do his best. Evidently, my friend's cross-examination is our only hope of learning the truth. Well, counsel? I'm ready, my lord. Very well, then. The defense will now proceed with the cross-examination of the witness. Miss Green clearly did break into Mr. Shamsphere's room. There can be no question of that. And that's how she acquired the note. Yes, two facts that are starting to lead me to a possible explanation for all of this. And it's not a pretty one. Yeah. I do remember now, 'twas a week ago, pre-adventure, that note was delivered unto me.
Hold it!
And can you shed any light on the contents of the note at all? Nay, sire, 'tis as strange to me as a foreign tongue. Even with a knowledge of literature as great as mine, knowing verily it is impenetrable. But Mr. Duncan Ross had lodgings in the same household as you. In effect, he was your neighbor, so you surely knew him, didn't you? Alack, if the choice is betwixt I do him and I do him not, then 'twas with foreboding that I be forced to declare we were by some small measure acquainted. Despite your claims, though, you followed the note's instructions and went to the Slug and Salad. Presumably, that was nothing to do with your knowledge of literature. Marry, naught will have the better of me, sire, save the lure of curiosity. So 'tis true, I was compelled by mine own eager heart to betake myself to the tavern. Yet in the end, my curiosity was not satisfied. Blah. On the day writ therein, I did tarry a long hour at the Slug and Salad, but yet nobody came. I know that feeling. So even after waiting for an hour, nobody appeared? Well, yes, sire. 'Tis as thou sayest. Really? You paused for a moment before you answered. In truth, when thou asked me whether nobody appeared, I did suddenly recall... Really? Do you mean to tell the court that somebody did appear after all? I was not alone the night of the Slug and Salad, my lord. 'Tis returning to me now. I did treat my lips to almost clear water and mine innards to a premium crust of bread. And then all around me, we danced a great many companions. What do you mean? Flies, sire, flies. Good lord. In the name of Beelzebub, what were they? Fairies, perchance, from a midsummer's night's dream, come to taunt me? I think they were just flies. I can't help thinking that the flies ought to choose something more wholesome to buzz around. Is that wrong with me? Is that why flies bother me all the time? Because I'm wholesome? Bleh. Thereafter, on the evenings I shared the company of the Japanese fellow that I never...
Hold it!
When exactly did you notice it had gone missing? Such idle thoughts ne'er occupy my mind. I am busied with greater ideas. In other words, you didn't notice. Several days passed between your outing to the tavern and Mr. Natsume's visit to your room. Yes, it would appear that the note appeared sometime in the interval. Such idle thoughts ne'er occupy my mind. I am busied with greater ideas. And yet, during that time, Miss Green was comatose at the hospital, was she not? Clearly, then, she could not have been stealing things from Mr. Shamsier's room. Yes, of course. It's all some sort of misunderstanding, isn't it, Mr. Prosecutor, sir? You have so far failed to give a satisfactory explanation as to how you can buy the notes. I'm not here to advocate for your defense, madam. I won't tolerate inconsistencies in your story. You would do well to remember that. Oh, dearie me. What's the sense I was getting at? Yeah, she never talked about... I don't know what you mean. You think I snuck into this man's room, do you? Why would I?
Hold it!
It seems this note was actually delivered to Mr. Shamsier about 1 week ago. Oh, does it? But for some reason, it ended up in your possession. I can't think of any way that could have happened, except for you breaking into Mr. Shamsier's lodgings.
Objection!
But for what reason would the witness have done that? I won't deny that Miss Green's possession of the note would appear to defy logic. However, until and unless her involvement in this case can be proven in some other way, any further pursuit of this note is meaningless. Miss Green could have only come to be in possession of the note by stealing it from Mr. Shamsier's room. And yet, there's no obvious reason why she would have done such a thing. What if there was some other reason she broke into his lodgings, though? Yes, we should pursue that idea, Mr. Naruto. We're close now. I can feel it. We're so close to a breakthrough. I can point out the thing in here, and that's for torn off. And as for the torn off, I don't know anything about it.
Hold it!
So you don't want to tell the court about the truth about the letter, is it? Is that it? I'm a fledgling artist, remember? Artists are nearly always introverted characters. Introverted? Fie! This fledgling doth readily cast aspersions out about my nature! And yet I am an angel, a seraph. Birds do harmonize with my song. The wind doth frolic on my wing. Oh pity, wherefore dost thou accuse one so pure of heart, ample woman? Pure of heart? I don't think so. Even a fledgling like me can see you're just a failure. Tragedy, thou shalt not know the true heart of an artist till thine instruction die hereafter by death. Oh, the days, oh, the years, alas, to enlighten thee, thou must wait so long and in vain. Now, how to interject with some clever remark. This is your chance to shine. I'm no Shakespearean actor, Miss Sasato. No, as far as I can tell, the only thing that's going to resolve this argument is evidence. Yes. It's clear that Miss Green didn't in fact break into Mr. Shamsier's room, isn't it? And that's where she found this letter. Yes, two or more less foregone conclusions that led me to one terrifying conclusion. Terrifying? Yes, I'm afraid to say that the outcome of this cross-examination may well change how we look at this case completely. Oh boy. Okay. Nobody came. Thereafter, on the evening, I shared a company of the Japanese fellow that I did see the note had vanished. You know what you mean. You think I said to the man, but why would I? Why would you? This maybe?
Objection!
Nope. Okay. That last statement was contradicted in a number of ways, I think you'll find. In a number of ways, you say? That's right, my lord. In a number of ways. Perhaps it would serve you well to concentrate your efforts on one contradiction at a time, Counsel. I made a bit of a mess of that.
A number of ways, actually. Okay. Why would you think I would sneak? I snuck into that room. Ah, frick. Well, for the note.
Objection!
Clearly for the note, but... But aside from the note... Okay. I guess we might as well go for the far-fetched answer then.
Objection!
I was kidding! Yesterday at the hospital, we saw you with this bottle. And though the contents spilled during the course of our meeting, a small quantity remained. According to the defense's independent analysis, Mr. Sholmes' chemistry set, the liquid that was still in the bottle was identified as strychnine. What? Strychnine? The very same poison that afflicted Mr. Shamsphere? Miss Green, you broke into this man's lodgings, and for one reason and for one reason alone. To cover the end of the pipe that feeds the gas lamp in Mr. Shamsphere's room with poison. Can this be... You broke into my room to... It may seem incredible to the court, but from the remaining clues, there is only one logical conclusion that we can reach. The person who attempted to take Mr. Shamsphere's life with poison was you, Miss Olive Green. Oh, dearie. Yay! Ah, frick. There's still nothing painted on that! Order! Counsel, are you seriously suggesting this woman put poison on the end of the gas pipe with intent to kill? Yes, my lord. There's no other way to explain the facts. But if Miss Green did indeed set this odious trap 6 days ago, and the victim had put his mouth to the pipe that very evening as expected, the attempted murder would have happened 6 days ago, surely! Well, that's a very good point. Perhaps not, my lord. I beg your pardon? Huh? There was a significant police presence in the area that evening on account of the incident on Briar Road. Local residents were being interviewed throughout the night as part of the ongoing inquiry. A circumspect criminal would likely have chosen not to carry out any wrongdoing at the time. Well, Mervin's life. And of course, the following morning there was more activity at Mr. Shamsphere's address. More activity. Yes! You mean his fellow lodger, Mr. Natsume, being arrested on suspicion of murder. That's right. And as the defense has already proposed, Mr. Shamsphere was meddling with the gas in the pipe for a very sinister reason himself, to cause the gas stove in Mr. Natsume's room to go out, thereby asphyxiating the occupants. But once Mr. Natsume had been arrested, his room was under constant surveillance by the police. In the circumstances, Mr. Shamsphere had no reason to blow air into the gas pipe. His intended victim being in a prison cell. With the need to tamper with the gas removed, the poison in the pipe lay dormant. And then, 3 days ago now, the situation changed again. Right, Mr. Natsume's trial, which took place here at the Old Bailey, came to an end. The trial in which the man stood accused of stabbing Miss Green in the back, but was duly acquitted. That resulted in Mr. Natsume returning to his lodgings for the first time in 2 days. And that very night, his gas stove mysteriously went out, and Mr. Shamsphere was mysteriously poisoned. In conclusion, the poison that was presented on the mouth of the gas pipe had been put there in the victim's room by some 4 days ago earlier. Mary! That's a large box. With that new understanding, it becomes clear that this letter was all part of a plan. What plan? The court will recall that the note gave instructions to visit the Slug and Salad at 5 o'clock, and that the recipient should tell nobody else. The reason for those instructions are now clear, to ensure that the lodger would not be at home at the stated time. To make sure I wasn't home? Exactly. While you were out, Miss Green could safely slip into your room, knowing that she wouldn't be disturbed. You mean to say that letter was written by Miss Green? Yes. And in order to cover her tracks, she took it away with her when she left. Just after she smeared poison all over the mouth of the gas pipe in your room. Wow. That is... Jeez. Order, order, what do you have to say for yourself, witness? Just who are you? Why are you trying to kill me? Miss Green's motive should be obvious. Yeah. It's all tied up with somebody whose name we've heard several times already during the course of this trial. So, that's what's behind all this. You will share your apparent understanding with the court, please, counsel. Which person is behind this woman's motive for the attack on the victim's life? Duncan Ross.
Take that!
Duncan Ross. That's right. Before the defendant, Mr. Natsume, took up residence in the lodgings at Mr. Garrideb's, somebody else was renting the room. Mr. Duncan Ross. I knew I heard that name somewhere else. It was all over the papers a month ago, when the man died in strange circumstances at the haunted lodgings. That does ring a vague... Oh, of course, yes! I remember now. The young man they claimed was strangled by the complex curse or such. Or some such. Sadly, my lord, it wasn't a curse of any kind, nor was it an accident. The man died as a result of Mr. Shakespeare blowing it into the gas pipe and causing gas to leak into the room. It was murder, plain and simple. Ah. Well, what do you know? The world is so unfair. Curses, curious deaths, that's all people care about. It's an interesting story they want to know. It doesn't cross their minds that real people are involved. And once they're bored, just 1 month later, while the little story lost its appeal, everyone's forgotten him. You mean you? Duncan was... Miss Ross was Miss Green's fiancé. Fiancé? You may not have known until now who Miss Green really is, Mr. Shamsphere. But she known exactly who you are all along, because you're her sworn enemy, the murderer who took the life of the man she was to marry. Marry! Miss Green, is this not the case? That in order to exact revenge on Mr. Shamsphere, you smeared poison over the end of the gas pipe? Oh boy. She really has not painted anything there. This is all quite extraordinary. Am I correct in my understanding that you now accuse both parties, counsel? Each on different counts of murder? Yes. Yeah. Yes, my lord. That's correct.
Objection!
Inhaling so deeply, it appears that my fledgling learned friend that has taken a lungful of dubious gas is causing his judgment to be clouded. What? Why would Mr. Shamsphere have wanted to kill these lodgers, as you say? Yeah, that's what we need to find out. You have completely failed to provide a motive to substantiate your accusation against the man. Yes, that's right, Mr. Reaper, my liege. I have been cited to the lies, all lies. I deny every utterance. You have to forgive me, Mr. Hurdle, sir. But I don't intend to admit to anything either. Miss Green, I'm sure you'll think I'm being very rude, but I'm not going to be sent to the gallows for the likes of this scoundrel.
Objection!
But you broke into the man's room, and you didn't do it to smear poison. And if you didn't do it to smear poison on the pipe, what is your reason? I thought I had a look around. That's all. Sorry. You're right. I suspected him, so I thought perhaps I might find some evidence or something in his room. Evidence that it was him who took Duncan's knife. Oh, vileness! Oh, villainy! Oh, tyranny! Oh, rotundity of woman! But, in any case, whene'er I leave my room, I do turn the key in the lock. that whole place is falling apart. The locks of the doors are no different. Thought could show me how how to unlock the door with some terms in a piece of wire. Oh, awfulness, oh tyranny, oh profanity of woman! We will consider your trespassing on some future occasion, but for now, tell the court what you found, what evidence your search revealed. Well, I spotted the note that I sent him, that I said I'm lying on this floor. When I went to pick it up, I noticed something. One of the floorboards was loose, and underneath it, I discovered a secret hiding place. Eh? Yes, we also discovered that hiding place. Inside we found a newspaper clip cutting, a photograph in an empty tin box. Yes. Well, the thing is, when I found it, the box wasn't empty. What? There was something in it? Yes. The key. This rather nice key. What are you doing with that? What the? Every ounce of color is drained from his face. Give it here. Give it to me now! It's mine. I inherited it! What was that, witness? What did you say? You inherited it? No, What's all this about? He inherited the key? It was obviously important to you since you go into such lengths to hide it, so I took it. I don't know what it's for, but you took something precious from me, so I took something precious from you. So what if it means you can't open something now? I don't care. Give it back this minute! Give it to me! Calm yourself, witness. So Mr. Shamsphere has tried, and in one case succeeded to take the life of 2 lodgers now. Yes, his motive for doing so is the key to everything that's happened. It's true that there appears to be no motive to support the accusation against Mr. Shamsphere at first, but considering everything we now know, I think there's actually something we could explain it. What? I need to recall every piece of evidence at our disposal, everything we've seen and heard. Because I'm sure that I just caught a glimpse of a link that runs through all these events. But what is that key for? In that case, counsel, I must demand that you present evidence to the court in support of your claim. What is it that you say can explain the motivation for Mr. Shamsphere's alleged crimes? Okay. There is a key. There is a lock here. I mean, the only thing that I can see that has a keyhole is gas meter. So I don't know.
Take that!
This is it. It's not it. This is what exactly, counsel? This is that thing which... Wait, what? Enough. A single word and he puts me in my place. Obviously. A single word and she puts me in my place. It may not be conclusive proof that we can provide the court at this stage, but sometimes all that's required is something that calls the right idea in mind. Alright, Mr. Shamsphere is desperate to get that key back in his possession. What does that tell us? What can explain the motivation of Mr. Shamsphere's crimes?
Take that!
That's an official police report, is it not? The Selden file. How did you get a hold of that? Selden? The now sadly deceased Mr. Ross and the defendant Mr. Natsume have only one thing linking them. The fact that they had lodgings in the same room. Well, yes, we know this. Certainly. A room that was formerly occupied by Selden. Until then, he was arrested by Scotland Yard for his involvement in multiple burglaries. Shamsphere was trying, he has the key to the loot. But he can't get in there unless he can't get in there if that room is taken. So he killed Mr. Ross, but he couldn't get in there in time before, like, I believe it was just after, like, right after the it pretty much had to be right after the investigation was over that the room was open again. And it so happens that the convict Selden left behind one very substantial mystery when he died. The sum 1,000 pounds worth of loot that he stole, which as yet remains to be found. Ah, yes, of course, it's coming back to me now. It's written in the file here. 1,000 pounds lost en route to hell. That is how the paper summed it up. And it seemed that one particular fellow inmate was with the convict in his final moments. It's not hard to imagine Selden entrusting the inmate with his most closely guarded secret, the location of the stolen loot, and perhaps a key to unlock whatever container the valuables were in. You mean this key is... Mr. Shamsphere, it was you, wasn't it? You were at the Capitol Defender's side when he died, were you not? What are you talking about? This is a false charge, I tell you, a false charge! The name of the inmate who was with Selden at his death isn't noted in this file, but a simple telegram to the prison where he died would quickly tell us how false the charge really is. But even if it's true, why would the men be so intent on killing every subsequent occupant of the convict's lodgings? There's only one explanation for that, my lord. It was in that very room that Selden hid his loot. Yep. It's somewhere in there. So it all comes out. Yes, and having established that, all of Mr. Shamsphere's subsequent actions started to make perfect sense when he was let out of prison following Selden's death. He made immediately for Mr. Garrett's lodgings in the hope of renting Selden's old room. However, the retired army man was unable to offer him the accommodation of his choice. Because Selden's old room has been left to somebody else, Mr. Yonka. Oh boy, yeah! Yeah, Shamsphere was trying to get into that room. He wanted that specific room, but he kept being denied, so he just settled for the other room. But he had to find a way to get in there. Which is why Mr. Shamsphere subsequently devised his gas-based plot to kill the occupant of the room, and when he was successful, he presumably intended to inquire about switching into the newly vacant room. That would be pretty suspicious, though. However, a certain jittery someone had beaten him to it. Mr. Sasaki Natsume, the defendant of this case, no less. So you decided to use the ploy with the gas again, didn't you, Mr. Shamsphere? This time to oust Mr. Natsume. All for one simple and avaricious reason. Money. To get your hands on 1,000 pounds of loot left behind by the dead convict. You... Oh boy. Looks like I'm gonna stuff it before they get to stretch me at me neck. Listen, I want you to have me loot. Anything. Just don't the coppers getting their mitts on it. It's hidden in my room where I was lodging when they got me. Yeah, it's a kid. Take it. Always stay one step ahead, mate. See you in hell, I guess. Shamsphere. Oh boy. It's mine. I think it's mine. That loot is mine. Oh! Mr. Shamsphere? It's all lies. I don't accept any of it. Why should I? After all, you're not a shred of evidence. You can't prove it. I killed that fellow. First news, I'm the victim here, remember? Isn't that right, ladies and gentlemen? If I don't admit to it, there's nothing you can do. You can't arrest me for the time being anyway. Apparently you can't arrest the victim, can you? Isn't that right, ladies and gentlemen? It's so close. I just need a few more hours. I swore to myself that I'd get my hands on it. And I can almost taste it now. Do you think I'd just give up? There's no question in my mind now. This man is guilty through and through. But he seems so utterly intoxicated by the idea of that loot. I'm afraid that, however contrapressive, he'll never admit to what he's done to Naruto. There is a way. Pardon? There's one way I can finish him. No. He's already committed the most heinous crimes to get his hands on that loot, which means all we need to do is find it first. A fine plan, were it not for the fact that the police thoroughly searched that room following the death of Mr. Ross. If it's there at all, it must be very well hidden indeed. Without conclusive evidence, I certainly cannot rule. If only there was some way we could find the complex loot quickly. This is the final piece of the complex puzzle, but I think we might have it in our possession already. Or rather, I think we may have something that can help us find where the loot is hidden. My lord. Yes, counsel? The defense would like to make a proposal. How about how to find the late convict's hidden loot? I believe we are already in possession of something that could give us a clue to its whereabouts. It's our last chance, so it has to be worth a gamble. Besides, we used the same technique once already, and it definitely paid off then. Very well, counsel. Let the court hear your idea. What do you propose we could use in order to locate the hiding place with the deceased convict's haul? What indeed? I don't see how we can use soap to find it. Um... I don't know. So?
Take that!
This is my proposal, my lord. Good gracious, we can use that, can we?
Objection!
I have another idea. Stop wasting the court's time with this senseless rubbish. That's my proposal, my niece friend. His proposal was better. We've already found one secret hiding place during the course of our investigation, Mr. Naruto. Yes, I suppose we have, though someone else beat us to it. The findings for the method we use are still in the court record, however, aren't they? I believe it's worth reporting the same method again. Are you... okay, fingerprinting? Like, you mean this?
Take that!
If I'm not mistaken, those are Mr. Shakespeare's handprints on the wall of his lodgings.
That's right, my lord. Exposed as a result of the defense's independent investigation of the scene. Based on a wonderful new discovery in the field of forensic science by the great detective, Mr. Sholmes. A great detective? Is that some kind of joke? Do you really think I'm going to be daunted by a man with such a ridiculous title? I should think the great Bond ought to recognize such a title when he hears what, like, I should think the great Bard ought to recognize such a title when he hears one, Mr. Shamsphere. Perhaps we should compete for the honor of most ridiculous title. His Herlock Sholmes himself. What are you doing here, great detective? Your usual haunts are the filthy back streets of the capital, aren't they not? Ah, Mr. Reaper, it's been too long. And I see your complexion has worsened since we last met. Mr. Sholmes, he does know romantic like that. Well enough to say something like that in any case. Mr. Sholmes, though you may be heralded as a great detective by the population at large, that does not give you the right to come and go in my courtroom as you see fit. If I may, my lord, Mr. Sholmes' newly discovered scientific method has helped us uncover vital clues in this case already. Clues, you say? I call them skin prints, my lord. My method identifies every location touched by an individual under scrutiny. It's the method by which we are able to ascertain this gentleman's gas pipe activities. You need only a small sample of something the individual has previously touched to make an indicator solution. So in your case, sir, I use the teacup you have been holding. Elementary. So now, Mr. Naruto? Yes? What aim are you supposed to use to sample, as a sample to make an indicator solution this time? Thank you for offering to help, Mr. Sholmes. When the convict was arrested, he was living in what was now the second science room. We did sample to help locate Selden's loot hidden in his old room. What form will that sample take? It's something that a person has. Need something of Selden's in order to create this indicator solution to find his loot, and something that convict owns happens to be in possession of somebody listed in the court record. Above my word, Mr. Naruto, your powers of reading appears to be on the up. So, which particular person do you have in mind? From whom can we obtain a possession of the late convict Selden to create the indicator solution?
Take that!
Miss Green. Me? What do you want with me? The key around your neck, if you please. Sorry? That key belonged to Selden. There will be remnants of secretions from the man's skin on its surface that we can use. Very true. That is the sample we need. Using it, we can create the indicator solution required for Mr. Sholmes' skin print seeker, and find out exactly what Selden touched in the room that he used to rent. Mr. Shamsphere, as one break to another, I assure you, if the late convict's haul is hidden somewhere in his former lodgings, I shall uncover it in no more than 30 minutes. So, Mr. Shamsphere, the truth is well within our grasp now, and as such, you will never get your hands on Selden's stolen wealth. In that case, I'll gladly let Mr. Sholmes have this key. No! Give me the key! You shan't have it! It's over, Mr. Shamsphere. No, no! You're out of options now. There's only one thing left for you to do. Admit your guilt. Whoa. Oh, shambles! Despair! Thy be thy name! Ooh. Oh, wow. I never intended to kill the man. I just wanted to drive him out of the room. That's all. So you'd have time to find the convict's haul of stolen goods. Yet after you killed the young man, you still didn't move into the room. I asked the landlord, of course. I pleaded with him, but he refused. Why? I was 3 months behind with the rent, for one thing. Mr. Gerda really had a lot to put up with. And he had the gas repair work done immediately afterwards, putting the room out of action for a while. And then this Japanese man swooped in at just the right moment to sign a new lease. Poor Mr. Natsume. Unfortunate timing. Then, 5 days ago, after the incident on Briar Road when the Japanese fellow got himself arrested, I thought I'd finally have my chance. But it wasn't to be. No, the scene was sealed off and guarded by the police night and day. And if I remember rightly, Mr. Sherman spent the whole day in there reading books. I couldn't even enter the room, let alone search it for the loot. Which is why, on the day Mr. Natsume was acquitted and returned to his room, he once again tried to trick your trigger blowing air into the gas pipe that feeds the stove into his room. Unbeknownst to you, however, that action would lead you to a deadly trap. How she figured it out is crazy to me. William Shakespeare, how does it go? To be or not to be? That is the question. From Shakespeare's Hamlet, Act 3, Scene 1. Well, let me tell you, if, in your case, it's not to be, that is the answer. You'll deserve to die for what you've done. Oh, man. At first, I really did think it was just a terrible accident. I'll never forget our conversation the night before Duncan died. The gas supply my new lodgings are a complete disaster, you know, Olive. The gas supply? Yes, the stove always seems to go on in the middle of the night for some reason. That's no joke. They say it's a convict's curse. Oh, Duncan, please, don't stay there. I don't care how cheap it is. Alright then, if that's important to you, I'll start looking for a new place. There are spare rooms in my house. Why would you leave that horrible room tonight? No, it better not. We said we'd wait until we graduate before we told our parents, remember? Oh no! But that was the last time we ever spoke. That very night he fell victim to the gas. No. If only I'd known it was going to happen, I'd have insisted till you left that horrible room that instant. But instead, all I've been left with is a bitter regret. I stopped going to school, but something kept drawing me back to the house on the Briar Road. I saw a stooped, Eastern-looking man with a mustache coming out of the house one day when I was there. He walked up the road with Grub's Grubbery for some food, so I followed him, and I sat myself next to him. He had done some watery-looking soup and started to pick a quarrel with a publican. That place is cursed, I tell you, cursed! The ghost of the convict who used to live there is trying to suffocate me! I wake up in the middle of the night, freezing to death and cut to the stomach out. The room is full of gas, and I can hardly breathe. The pipes have been checked, no problem there. It's like I'm the problem! That's what they're thinking. But how could that be? Duncan was gone, and now this man had almost suffered the same fate. Could it really be a curse? Then I remembered a rumor I heard about how the gas companies go around investigating the gas installations. A rumor? Oh, you mean... Yes, everybody's heard the stories, it seems, about how they go around checking the pipes. How anything connected to the gas can be extinguished by blowing into the pipework. That's when it started. A little flicker of doubt in the back of my mind. It just wouldn't go away. Was it really an accident, though? Once I had the idea, it wouldn't leave me alone. It plagued me night and day. And then, so I bought this. At one of the black markets in the East End. A black market? I've never been. I just heard people talk about them. And you really can't buy anything you can think of there. In some ways, being able to get my hands on this so easily made me even more determined. I had to find, one way or another, was Duncan's death an accident, or was it murder? And your chosen method for establishing the truth was simple, but highly effective. Smear poison on the gas pipe you suspected the man of tampering with, and wait. If Mr. Shamster was innocent, nothing would come of what you've done. But if he was guilty, he would pay for his crimes dearly.
Yeah, holy cow. I found out the name of the man I suspected, William Shakespeare. And then I wrote him this little note. I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. Come to the Slug in Salad on Briar Road at 5 p.m. on the 17th. Don't tell anybody else about this letter or the meeting. It is a matter of utmost importance. But it sounds like it would be for her. If he'd done it, I knew that would worry him enough so he'd be sure to go. So I waited to see if it worked.
And of course, Mr. Shakespeare followed the instructions to the letter.
I worked out where the gas pipe was straight away. So I made a good amount of poison I bought all around the mouth of the pipe. All the time praying that the devil's work wouldn't be done, and that it was all just some wild fantasy.
Oh.
Actually, no. All the time praying that the devil's work would be done, and that the culprit would get his just desserts.
Man. She went to such lengths just to do this. Poor lass. 3 days ago, when you first stood in the dark before me, this whole affair seemed to be relatively straightforward. Yes, my lord. I certainly never imagined the depths of depravity that we should subsequently find lurking behind the scenes. It has been a long road, my Divine's friend. Oh, yes. And one I certainly didn't envisage walking with you. Nevertheless, together we have reached the light at the end of the tunnel, as it were. Miss Green.
Yes, my lord.
You will henceforth be stripped of your freedom, and as punishment for the attempted murder of Mr. William Shakespeare.
Yes, I know.
And you, Mr. Shakespeare, you will be tried for the murder of Mr. Duncan Ross in cold blood, and the subsequent attempted murder of Mrs. Suzuki Natsume here present.
Mr. Naruhodo? Yes? Yesterday, at the hospital, when you and your friends stopped me from...
Yeah. Recommending your life by drinking that was left with the poison bottle.
I wasn't myself. I can't really remember what was going through my mind. To be or not to be, I suppose. But that's a question so hard to answer, it seems.
Yeah, well, personally, I'm glad of you being here, Miss Green.
Oh?
And I'd like to believe that it's a blessing Mr. Shakespeare didn't die when he ingested the poison. For your sake, at the very least.
Because of you, I chose life, not death. And now you've made the truth come out at last. Really, I can't thank you enough. Miss Green.
Mr. Suzuki Natsume. Yes, my lord. The court declares that you are exonerated from all blame in this matter. Accordingly, I would call upon the lady, the gentleman of the jury to present a verdict of not guilty. We are in full agreement, my lord. In that case, I hereby declare the defendant not guilty. Woohoo! We did it! We did it. Court is adjourned. Oh boy. Oops, sorry. Oh, yes, yes, the last. Divine!
Divine justice, duly done! Divine justice. My dear fellow, if there were any divine justice in this world, you would shave that mustache. No! This has nothing to do with my mustache! Some say that a luxuriant mustache is a sign of physical, prowess, Mr. Sholmes. Welcome to Mr. Nolan, Esquire. Once again. You saved me from doom. I'm very happy to be able to help, Mr. Natsume. Congratulations on your acquittal. You're second in almost as many days. I was first acquainted with and gained affection for English literature whilst in our great homeland empire. And then, by twist of fate, I was brought to the land that bore the fruit of that literature. Only the city of bricks and mortar became my prison. Try as I might, I never found my feet here. In the end, I confined myself to my room and lived a life through friendly old books. You've had such a difficult time, haven't you? But a week ago now, I dragged you out of that dark and dingy room of yours, did I not? You did. Yep, I did. How's it going? You did, and I've seen more of life this week than all my years to date. And for the first time, I feel I've begun to see the true faith of the English that's so rather than hiding from me behind the wall of fog. My dear fellow, there's nothing special about the true face of the English, as you put it. Wheresoever one goes in the world, humans are human. There are a few genuine differences. Yes, I think you're right. I've finally started to see that, and I've come to sense something. I've worked out why I was attracted to English literature in the first place. It made me see that whatever our nationality, we humans have the same hopes and fears. We're all just doing our best to live. Well said, I've come to feel the same way. I've made a decision too. I'm going to cut short my study tour here. I've returned to Japan. What? Just when we become friends here in England, terrible shame. Oh, I know, that does tug at my heartstrings, it really does. But I've decided to take everything I've learned it here in Britain and write something of my own. Yeah, you definitely reminded me of, it sort of came out in my voice later on, but I started thinking of him, I started seeing shades of Jirao from the last story from him, but yeah. What a well-written villain, I swear, in this case. Especially for a second case. Really good. Really love to hate. Novel of sorts, I suppose. A visual novel? Oh, you're creating your own literature, Mr. Natsume. How wonderful! Oh, well, no, I wouldn't presume to call it literature. Why not? That's precisely the definition, Mr. Mustache. I suppose you're right, yes. I will, in a way, be literature. But as of now, all I know is that I'd like to try my hand at writing. I have no delusions of grandeur. I, for one, would love to read your work. Well, all things considered, it may be for the best. After all, you have once again emerged victorious. From a battle with the Reaper. That's very true. And there is no salvation for a person in the dock when the Reaper is the prosecutor. The desire to return post-haste to receive safety of your homeland is one I quite understand. My goodness, yes. Face was such a terrifying prospect. Nobody would consider that cowardly, I'm quite sure. but that's not why I'm leaving! I mean it! And that was the case we found ourselves embroiled in 6 months ago now. Saseki-san did indeed return to Japan and submitted a report about both cases to the government. It was on reading that report that Professor Rikitoba was prompted to visit the scholar, and barely any time later, Sasada-san was given the news that she must return to Japan as well, on the back of a telegram stating falsely that her father had fallen gravely ill. So what happened? The only possible explanation that comes to mind is what happened after the trial, on the following day, the day that we uncovered the loot, hidden by the now-deceased convict in his former lodgings. Oh?
oh, well done, Mr. Sholmes. How simply marvelous of you to uncover the secret hiding places in just one day. Wasn't it supposed to take 30 minutes? As I believe I told you, my dear fellow, skin prints are extremely useful in such situations. Wouldn't you agree, Gregson?
Gregsy's been happily munching in agreement this whole time, you know, Hurley. Happily, I think perhaps humorously might be closer to the truth. So it transpires the man fashioned a hiding place. And what's in it? What's exactly the loot?
In the ceiling.
The loot? Please tell me it's friendship. It's a friendship we made along the way.
Let us look then. If you're ready, let's examine the late burglar's hall.
Friendship! Friendship!
What is that?
Is it friendship?
What?
What?
It looks to be some sort of neckband or collar.
Collar? It's huge though.
And look at the gemstone set in it. I can see why it's claimed to be worth £1,000. Perhaps I could have it as a belt.
Oh, have you noticed the inside there?
There are some dark stains. Why are there blood? That's blood. That is definitely blood, but whose blood? You don't think they could be blood, do you? I mean, there's quite a lot of it. On second thoughts, perhaps I won't have it as a belt. Then of course, there's this emblem here. A large letter B and a small crown. B? What does it signify, do you think?
Oh, I hadn't noticed that.
Brixby? I feel as though I've seen that emblem somewhere before, you know? Where could it have been? That's enough of that, I think. What? What's the matter with Sholmes? All the colors draining from his face. Well, Inspector, I believe you ought to be taking this, oughtn't you? It could be valuable evidence, after all. It must be kept safely under lock and key. Ah, yes. Get your grubby hands off that, you lot, and hand it over, now. Oh boy. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna remember that. I never seen a collar that large before. And all those jewels certainly look like to be extremely valuable. But that's not what stood out to me the most. At least not once I noticed it. Those dark marks on the inside of the collar, those stains, could they really have been blood? I have no clue.
Well, that was a funny case, wasn't it? But it's all buttoned up now.
And you look very pleased, Iris.
I am, because I'm starting to wonder what I could use as the basis of this one story in this magazine. But this case will be perfect. It's been so fascinating.
You're talking about the latest installment of The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, I presume.
The mystery of the knife in the mist, and the mustached man in the convict's purse, perhaps. I could make it in a two-part story. Oh, I can't wait.
A word, please, Iris.
Yes, what is it, Hurley?
I'm sorry, but you can't write about this case. It's out of the question.
What? Why not? It's a great case.
Yeah. Then I shall have to insist that you limit yourself to the first of your two titles. The second must not be written. Never be written. Is that clear?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. What has gotten him?
And so it was that the second of Souseki-san's cases became buried in obscurity.
Yeah, I would say so.
Now, looking back, I feel I understand. I can see why Mr. Sholmes forbade Iris from publishing the story. It would take a little longer before I saw the link between everything that had happened and would happen. For it wasn't until 2 months after the arrival of Susato-san's letter that events began to unfurl again.
Oh no.
With an incident that took place at the very heart of the eagerly awaited Great Exhibition of London.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy, this is... Wow. And we're not even halfway through this. We have 3 more cases of this. Holy cow.